And one of the students actually graduated last year. She was a both Lang and Parsons student, Ida Benedetto, and unfortunately I wasn't able to embed this video, so I have this video just here on Vimeo, and I thought that it would be better to show rather than to tell or to define the issues that are going on in the university. And I also wanted to clarify that the students in these videos do not by any means encompass the extremely diverse and like numerous student population here at the New School. These are just some students that we were able to get a hold of and to ask some questions and to see what the outcomes were of their experiences and what they had to share with us, just to propel our research.
Including issues of race and sexuality in coursework will help majority students, so white students and straight students, realize that these issues impact everybody, both in society and in the workplace, and that it's their responsibility to deal with whatever sort of concerns come up around these areas, and that it's not some sort of tokenized or special thing that can be relegated to the side or dealt with by those people who actually inhabit those identities. It'll really make the work of creating an egalitarian society and workplace that reflects everyone's needs much easier to accomplish. Sexuality is pretty robustly discussed both at Eugene Lang and at Parsons in my experience, and as a queer person, it sometimes put me in a difficult position as somehow I'm supposed to represent what that experience is like in the classroom, and that sometimes I wanted to just be the student, or sometimes, you know, being queer is a pretty broad category, and just because we're studying Mapplethorpe doesn't mean that I have some sort of great insight onto like what his work means or what's going on there. So it's interesting because it's heavily represented, and yet it's still tokenized. So I should hope that we can somehow consider developing a curriculum that gives students tools for discussing sexuality in a validating, you know, mature, both like personally mature and professionally mature way that hopefully looks slightly past issues of identity while at the same time realizing a sense of diversity. That for me would really make my experience as a queer student here a lot more empowering. Largely it's been a tokenizing thing in terms of how I've been asked to engage with the curriculum. Issues of sexuality at Parsons I find are often discussed in the classroom in terms of style or aesthetics, and it very rarely goes into issues of you know, needs and perspective and doing things that don't actually look or feel any different from all of the other people who have sexualities. And so that's been my experience of what sexuality means at Parsons in terms of discussion in the classroom. And it's extremely disconcerting to find that because certain students act a certain way or dress a certain way, that they're tapping into the stylistic value of queer identity without actually considering the social or political ramifications of it. That's holistically been my experience of it at Parsons. As a queer white student, I've found no lack of role models and support informally from New School staffers, be those advisors or professors, and I feel extremely lucky to have found people who, even if they're not out in the classroom or in their careers, they're willing to speak to me very explicitly on that level, what it's like sort of navigating their sexuality in whatever endeavors that they're dealing with, and being there for me to speak very frankly about issues that I'm having, and frankly embracing that opportunity and being really thrilled to be there for me. I also think that I'm a little bit different from other queer students at the New School because I came here a little bit older, and I've spent a lot of time in New York City, so I already am getting healthcare at Cal Nord. I have already frequented the center, which I continue to be shocked to realize that most students don't realize is just a couple of blocks away from the school. So I already had that sort of established basic resources in terms of health, physical, mental health, and a sense of being in a place where this was accepted and embraced. I came to school already having established that. And so what professors and advisors really did for me was help me figure out what that means professionally, especially because it's in the professional world where I find that I don't always want to be out, and what that means and how to deal with those feelings and what the ramifications are. I do definitely want to specify that I think part of the reason why I had so much support from queer faculty was that I had already sorted out a lot of my identity and what I was looking for and what I wanted before I got here. And so it was easy for them to relate to me as a peer. If I was coming here and I wasn't out yet, or I was coming from a different place and I wasn't used to the queer community in New York, I probably would feel extremely baffled by the lack of support structurally at the new school. There's amazing institutions in New York that I've sent many students to find support, and I'm shocked that there isn't even some sort of basic reference or awareness of new school staff that the LGBT center is 2 blocks away, that there is a community health center that's completely dedicated to supporting queer people, and that youth can go there for free health care and counseling. This kind of stuff is stuff that I found on my own as a resident of New York City before coming to college, and I'm extremely grateful for it, and I hope that the new school can replicate some of these amazing services for all of the students that they're responsible for here. My financial aid has been extremely helpful with my coursework. Let me just be completely clear that I'm definitely one of the privileged students here in the sense that my family is well off enough to pay for my education, and that I'm walking out of here, even though I have some loans, that I'm not the one responsible for paying those. So at no point was my education a personal financial burden, but getting that financial support, even given the fact that I'm the oldest of 4, knowing that I was given the opportunity to excel and was rewarded for that, and that is manifesting as a lesser load on my parents, gave me the confidence to take risks with my coursework that I'm not quite sure what other kind of recognition or support would have provided me. There's something extremely validating and material about getting good financial aid and good scholarships that really outweighs any kind of attention or sort of subjective back patting. And so I felt at liberty to take risks regardless of how good my grades were and really experiment.
Okay, so that was our interview with Ida. And by our, sorry, I think that I'm misrepresenting completely. By our, I mean the working group's video with Ida. So.